Hey, property management friends, it's Jeremy Pound from RentScale. And yes, this is a real background, which is a question I get asked all the time. I wanted to share a recording with you, one of which that we do every single month. But this was a very specific one that I wanted to edit down to just the details so that you could get a test drive of what it's like to be in ScaleClub, which is the largest community of residential property management sales professionals in North America. Now, you may call them a business development manager, you may call them a sales rep, but to us, they're the same thing. And so I chose this one specifically because I thought it was something very actionable that you could actually take some notes and put 1, 2, 6, 12 ideas into your business tomorrow. So I appreciate you tuning in. Now, I'm obviously biased, but I believe that we have the best coaches in the property management industry. And you're going to hear from two today, Reese and Jason. They're going to take you through their ideas for building the ultimate residential property management referral network in your local market. Now, I'm going to let them start off by sharing some wins from our community because I actually think there's some great lessons from the 2 wins that Reese is going to share. But then right after that, we're going to get right into the lessons. And I've edited this down. It's usually a little over an hour, and I've taken out most of the Q&A and I've taken out most of the back and forth. And I've really tried to distill it down so that you're getting the absolute meat of what we're trying to teach out of this concept. So my goal is that you use these tools and these techniques and you start getting referrals every single day for ideal fit clients. That's my goal for this. And watch this and let me know if we lived up to that billing. I'm going to hand it over to the RentScale coaches now.
Happy Friday, everybody. Going into a Memorial Day long weekend. Hope everybody has some good plans. Get outside. Hopefully, weather should be nice across the country at some point through these next 3 days. So get out and enjoy it. And glad everybody's here. Really looking forward to today's conversation. You know, we talk about a lot of different things, but one of the most important aspects is lead generation. So we're going to talk about how you can actually increase some leads on avenues that maybe you haven't even thought of before. So typically we look at one lane being realtors. So we got a lot of other different avenues that we can go out and explore today. So super excited. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about building the ultimate referral network. A lot of the times we look at one individual lane, like I was speaking about. We're going to talk about how we can layer on some additional avenues. So you're not just working on the short-term bucket. We're also out there looking at the long-term bucket, being a community influencer, being the solution for our clients' problems. Even some of the people at our table that maybe that they need us more than we need them. We want to build that circle of influence around us. So looking forward to that. But before we dive in, I wanted a couple of shout outs. So on the We Break Through, I want to shout out Ryan. And I'm going to piggyback this from last month's Skill Dev. We went into the investor pitch, learned a little bit about how to pitch a property, what cash on cash is, and how we can reposition appreciation versus negative cash flow. So Ryan, I'm going to shout you out here because you took this to practice. You took this to one of your leads that was going to be negative cash flowing. And his words were testing his pockets. He asked this particular lead, are you going to be able to, are you going to be okay losing a couple $100s a month? Do you really need that $200 a month in negative cash flow versus the 3 to 6% appreciation? The client loved it and signed up with Ryan on the spot almost. I think it was a few hours after, but using that leverage and saying, hey, it's not about the negative cash flow, it's the long-term appreciation. So took some of those skills that we talked about, put it into use, and got a new deal, new client out of it. So kudos to you, Ryan. I love seeing that practiced and how to really drive the conversation around appreciation and what real estate in the long term can really do for our clients. So awesome job. Let's give Ryan a big round of applause on that. And then we say it, we do it. Sylvia, shout you out here. Sylvia sent me an email. It was about 8 o'clock Eastern last night. And I knew she was having a rock star month. She was just, when she was reporting in ScaleClub every week, it was amazing to see what she was doing. But she sends me an email and she said, hey, Reese, just wanted to drop you a quick note. I'm going to be at 43 doors closed this month. So I was like, that is worth a shout out. So let's give it up for Sylvia. 43 doors this month closed. Awesome, awesome job on that. Today, when we talk about building the ultimate referral network, first we got to understand what that network is. Who is our opportunity? What we want to go after? What can we offer someone and what can they offer us? We can't build a network unless we truly understand what we're going to be looking at. So, Jason, set the stage for us.
A lot of times when we think about this referral process, look at it from the lens that our property that we're managing for our owners is the business. And that, again, regardless of the situation that the homeowner might be in, whether an accidental or an investor or whatever, we want to begin looking at that person as the CEO of their business. So think about it in this way. The property owner is the CEO. This is their business. That CEO needs to begin to build an incredible team around them to be successful. Accidental landlords, for sure, aren't thinking about this. Your investors, they might have a couple partners that are coming alongside and helping them, but they're not really thinking about all of the elements that are going into making that property and that business as successful as possible. And so sometimes we want to really begin to reframe what we do as management as being the partner of the CEO as the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. And sometimes it's really important that when we're talking to our referral network and we're talking to our partners and everything that Reese is about to explain, that we position ourselves as that Chief Operating Officer. That is what we do best. Property management is all about operations. Most owners, most CEOs hate operations for the most part, right? That's why they bring on a chief operating officer, someone else that can maximize the details, that can get in there and make sure that all of those elements are working smoothly, efficiently, and making them more money. And that's what we do for our property owners in their business. What's important is that when we're building a referral network, we're developing the Rolodex on who else needs to be sitting on the C-suite team of our owners. And that's what we really want to begin breaking out today, is we want to look at all these different people and saying, when our owner comes to us, that CEO comes to us, we know our position as the COO, and we want to have a Rolodex of sales and marketing, i.e. realtors, right? Insurance, lenders, HOA, legal, all this stuff that Reese is about to break down. Think about it as you're putting together this perfect C-suite for your CEOs so that you have the right people to refer to them. And then the people that also, they understand your role and what you're doing, right? Legal, for an owner, they know nothing about operations. They're really great at legal. So let's make sure we understand the partnership that we're stepping into and how we can best support them. That helps drive the angle at how we build the network and effectively how you position yourself as being irreplaceable because you've got access to that network and you can support any CEO that comes to you. So with that said, Reese, let's start breaking it down. How do we begin to build up that C-suite team?
So yeah, how do we leverage our ecosystem that we're already working with? All of these people at some point have come in contact with us or our clients to get the property under management. So how do we leverage that to grow it? How do we bridge the gap between all of those people in our C-suite to our current clients, but also any future clients that we may have? That's the role that we want to play as the COO of the business. So what are we going to do with that? We've got to establish a give and take referral network. So what can we give to our referral network? And then what can they take away from us? It has to be a two-way street. We can't just go into someone's office or expect them to give us all their business and we're not providing anything in return. So just something to think about. And we're going to talk about it with all these individual lanes on what we can give to those on a simple level, all the way up to a complex level, so that we can have a wonderful sphere of influence that's constantly delivering us referrals month after month. Chris, I'm gonna pick on you just a little bit today. I know you're newer to the role, and I appreciate you coming on the Skill Dev today. But I'm gonna go through this. I know we've talked a little bit about networking to real estate agents, but I'm gonna give you some ideas, give everyone some ideas here, and then I'm gonna call on you, Chris, and I want you to give me one thing that you took away from this that you can go out and have an actionable item on next week and actually implement. All right. So with real estate agents, they're the easiest. Most likely, they're the first lane that we go and reach out to start building a referral network. But how do we do that? We can offer them landlord education. Most real estate offices do some type of team meeting or monthly meeting or even a total office education webinar, we can actually position ourselves as the landlord education. So if you have agents that are in that office that are working with investors to buy homes, or even on the selling of their investment properties, we can be their educational partner to come in and tell them all the ins and outs of what they need to be looking at from a property management standpoint. Listings. I've talked about this a little individually with some of our ScaleClub members, but we actually have an opportunity to partner with real estate agents with listings. And that could be a single family listing or a multi-family, small multifamily listing. And the way we go about doing that is if you have a listing that maybe is 60, 90 days old that's not selling, they may be thinking about renting their property. That's where the accidental landlord comes in. So we pick up the phone, we reach out to that real estate agent, we let them know that we're an option, so that if their client's getting frustrated and they're thinking about renting their home or even terminating their relationship with the agent, we actually can come in as a tool to help them preserve that relationship. If they want to rent out their home, we'll take care of that for the next year or two so that they can build up some more equity. And then we turn it right back over to that agent so that they get the opportunity to sell that home again, versus that seller getting frustrated and firing that agent and starting the process all over again. And then on the investor purchase and sale, if they're working with an investor to buy a particular property and they're trying to give them rental analysis without getting the property management involved, it's going to be set up for failure. Real estate agents are transactional, property managers are interactional. So if they bring us in, they can do the transactional piece. We're the interactional piece. When an investor buys a property, they're typically going to have that for 3, 5, 10, 15 years. So we've got to develop that relationship versus the realtor just doing the transaction side. And that's where we can come in and help facilitate that. There's even opportunities out there where tenants may want to purchase a property that they're living in, and we can use that as something that we can give real estate agents if we have tenants that are looking to purchase properties in the future. And what I've come across in my experience is there's some offices out there that are conducting property management on a very, very small scale. You may have an agent that's managing 3 to 10 units. They're trying to do everything themselves. It's a big headache. That's a perfect opportunity for us to come in and say, hey, why don't you let us handle the property management business so that you can handle the transactional side of your business? So they can hand that over. And most of us are going to pay realtor referral fees. So that's a great opportunity for us to take the pain away from them, still get them paid, and develop a good long-term relationship. So if they have any other doors, they can send them to us pretty quickly. And then our hook, like when we talk to these real estate agents, what are we going to say? And it's a simple one line: property management partnership can help you earn more commission. So that's what people want to hear. Real estate agents, that's the only language they speak. So Chris, now I'm going to throw it back to you. If I were to say, what's one thing that you can go out and do next week from a real estate agent perspective, what's that going to be?
I mean, the first thing would be education. I actually scheduled a landlord education class for a local real estate with a local real estate principal broker already for the 13th of June. But that's the first thing that I try to do, is educate the realtor that I'm talking to, asking if they do, and then also offering services like rent-o-meter and stuff like that.
Real estate agents do not know how to perform a rental analysis. That's where our expertise are. So lead with that, give them something of value that's going to help them close more deals. The next lane that really has been untapped, now that we've got past real estate agents, I know we really focus on that, but here's something that we can add to: insurance agents. Every property in our current portfolio and every property that's going to be purchased by an investor in the future, they have to have landlord insurance, not homeowners insurance. They have to have landlord insurance. We can actually educate their clients. So if they have someone that is going to be an accidental landlord or investor that is purchasing their property or turning it into a rental, they're going to need professional management. And one of the calls that they make is to their insurance agent, letting them know that they're going to be renting out their house. Or an investor is going to call an agent to say, I'm going to be buying a property. I need an insurance quote. That's an easy opportunity for you to network within your local market with those agents that are working with investors. And what can we provide? We can actually educate their clients on the value of professional property management. So that's when we talk about the give and take. There's so many opportunities out there. I mean, if you drive down the main road in your market, I'm sure there's a couple of different billboards or real estate offices that you'll see, from the big names like Geico and State Farm, Progressive, all the way down to the smaller companies that we can go into, provide them information about what professional property management does, but also we can use that as a resource for the new investors that we get, or the new accidental landlords that we're going out and doing on sites with. We're educating them on changing from a homeowner's policy to a landlord policy. This is a way that we can bring an insurance agent to the table, give them business as well. So it's a two-way street, and that's exactly who you want to have in your Rolodex. So what's our hook when we walk into these places or cold call them? We have investors and we have new landlords that need a landlord insurance partner. That's the COO. We need to have someone in our network. If there's a problem, we can refer it to someone. So build that piece, and an insurance agent is a perfect way to do it. Every property owner has to have that insurance piece. The next piece that we really, it's overwhelming how many different companies are out there. But lenders, there's the big banks like Lima One, Space Coast Credit Union. They are doing right now 0 down investor loans. The Empowered Investor has some stuff out there as well. Local credit unions. So if you have, like where I'm from, there's just like a regional teachers credit union. Maybe you have some of those in your market that you can go out, talk to. They typically have somebody that does a little bit of marketing that you can partner with for the educational piece, and they have investors taking out those loans, and we want to be a direct referral partner for the property management piece. But on the other side, for us, we have clients that may want to purchase properties, and that's one of the questions they ask is, I need a lender, and we want these types of people. We want to understand their programs so that we can refer our clients out so that they can buy a property, because if they buy a property, we get to manage it. So it's, again, having somebody that we could send. If you're not familiar with hard money lenders are a little bit different than banks and credit unions. It's a short-term cash loan, essentially. Typically, you see those with rehabs, flips, things like that. But those types of clients and those lenders, they're directly related to investors, because that's what they're buying the properties for, is to use that money to invest. And most likely in today's market, they're going to rent that out versus flipping it. So we need to be their number one resource when it comes to property management. We need to have these partners that can explain what a HELOC is, a home equity line of credit. We've got probably there has to be a ton of clients in our portfolios right now that bought properties 5-10 years ago that have a ton of equity in their house. What programs are out there that can allow them to expand their inventory and expand their portfolio? We need to be able to educate. And if we can't, we need partners that can educate. There's a ton of different investor loans out there. When the interest rates went up, investor loan products got creative because people weren't borrowing money the traditional way. So there was all kind of different loan programs that have been created in this space that are going to allow investors to keep purchasing properties. We need to be educated on those products, and we need to be able to refer our clients over to those types of institutions so that they can get them into their next deal. And then educating our clients on the second home purchases. What does that look like? How is debt to income ratio calculated on a investment property? What is a debt service coverage ratio loan? Do I qualify for that? We don't have to be the expert on those. We just need to know somebody that is the expert. So partnering with these companies goes a long way to get you to your next deal. And for these lenders and these institutions, it works well for them because they get into a deal. They service out a property manager, refer a property manager. That's where we fit in, and we can take care of the investment for both sides. So what's the hook? We have investors and landlords that need to expand their portfolio. So when we make that initial contact, that's what we want to go in with so that they're listening and we can trade business together. And then vendors. We often don't think about this. This was a unique one that when I was in the BDM role that I thought was very, very interesting. We had a vast network of vendors, all the way from lawn companies, roof companies, pest control, rehabs, air conditioner companies, even inspectors. And the list just keeps going because there's so many different things that we have that goes on in the maintenance world. To start with, when I was in the BDM role, we never even reached out to the vendor. Our only concern with vendors is, are they going to give us good pricing? Are they going to get out there and do the good job? So we took it one step further. We're like, how can we go out and have our vendors refer us actual properties? So we talked to all our vendors. We did a webinar with all our vendors to say, hey, I know you don't just work with our property management company. Maybe there's some individual self-managing landlords that you do work for, that you see an opportunity where professional management would actually help them. And that's where we came in. So they would refer us over self-managing landlords that were struggling. Maybe it was a friend, a family friend that they were doing some work with. And we got a slow drip of leads from our vendor network just by being able to put professional management behind it. And then what could we do for them? We left them Google reviews. If they were doing a great job for us as a vendor, we would tell that story on their Google page, because for them, that would get their next customer. That boosted them up on the rankings so that not only are they working with our property management company, but they get some additional business as well. So when we talk about give and take, that's what you can do on the simple terms to make sure that your vendors are taken care of. Because even if they referred us a property management client, they're still going to maintain the business. It's not like we're taking it away from them. If it's a lawn company that's doing the lawn for a self-managing landlord, they refer it over to us. They're continuing to do the lawn. It just makes it a little bit easier for them. So when you think about your vendors and how maintenance works in your day-to-day property management business, there's a ton of opportunity out there. We even had some of our vendors that owned investment properties that were not even using us, and they turned over their own portfolio to us. We just had to ask. So think about that. Leverage your vendor network that you already have relationships with to get your next client. So what's our hook with the vendors? The more clients we have, the more business we get to send you. So help us expand our portfolio, continue to do a great job for us when we send you those work orders and take care of our residents and our clients. And we're going to expand our portfolio and continue using you. The next piece, HOA and condo associations. Condo and HOA associations think property managers the absolute enemy of the world. We have to change that narrative. We actually can be a great resource for them if they'll just sit down and really understand what we do. So once we get an applicant, we do our own screening as a property management company, but typically an HOA or a condo association is also going to ask for us to do a screening, or at the very least provide a lease so that they know that the tenant's been qualified. There's an opportunity there to build a relationship. So when we contact that HOA and we're getting all the information of what their screening requirements are, we should leverage that to say, hey, if you have any other investors buying in your community or homeowners that want to rent, we understand your community standards and what your standards are for tenants that are going to be in your complex. It would make sense for both of us to make this process easier by using us as your preferred property management company. And we're going to uphold the standards of the community because we already know that. We have 2 or 3 units that we're already managing under your umbrella. So leverage that partnership, because a lot of the times the HOAs not only manage that one community, they manage thousands of other homes in other communities. So build a bigger relationship than just the building or subdivision that you're actually working with on that property. Homeowners that are going to rent, they're going to call the HOA most likely first to say, hey, I want to rent my home and I need to understand what I need to do to get it rent ready. What do I have to do with the HOA? What do I have to do with the condo association? And if we've built a strong enough relationship, they're going to say you need professional management so that that screening's done properly. And I've got the perfect company for you. And our company should be the one that they think of. So what's our hook there? So having a preferred partner for your building or your community that understands your process is going to make your life so much easier versus the random company that has no relationship with you and stumbles through the process. And worst case scenario, puts a bad tenant in your community or your condo building. So leverage that. We're doing it already. We have homes that are in these types of buildings or these types of communities. So start working on the relationship so that when they think property management or they get that question, we're the first that they think about. Great lane. It works extremely well. Use it consistently. And then financial and tax planners. There's so many companies out there that are doing this, but on a local market level, you have individual maybe it's a CPA, things like that are doing real estate planning. That how do we leverage real estate? We talked about this in workshops. We also talked a little bit about it on the Skill Dev last month, but how is that defining their personal wealth? That's where professional management can come in to help their clients expand on their real estate or even take care of the real estate that they already have to make sure that they're getting the best outcome for their personal net worth and generational wealth. There is a wonderful place for us in there. We leveraged it here in Tampa as an educational partner. We would provide a little bit of education, whether that's a video or an article for that office to use with their clients that they're working with. And then on the flip side, we asked those tax planners, financial planners, the same thing. Could you give us some information so that we can use that to send out a quarterly newsletter, maybe an annual webinar that we do for our clients, current and future, that talks a little bit about how real estate can really help their net worth grow. So leverage that as an educational partner. So again, that's our hook. How can we help each other educate our current and our future clients? That's what these people want to hear. And it's a great person to have in your Rolodex. It's not going to be one that you're getting a lead every day from, but when those do come up, we found out that most of those leads that came through were multi-property owners, so you could expand a lot quicker. Self-directed IRAs. Just a quick show of hands. How many of our BDMs on here are familiar with what a self-directed IRA is? It's what I figured. I discovered this by accident. So we know traditionally what an IRA is. It's an individual retirement account, but a self-directed IRA is a traditional or Roth IRA, which means it's going to allow for some tax benefits to save for retirement, but also self-directed IRA is going to allow you to invest in real estate versus stock market, mutual funds, things like that. This was a gold mine discovery for us in the Tampa area. Advanta IRA is one of the larger companies out there, but there are several companies that do that. And they have clients that have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in their IRA that they're buying real estate with. And what do they need? Professional property management. These types of offices also provide a massive amount of education. This particular company does a weekly webinar on Fridays where you get in front of, the few times I've been on there, between 70 and 100 investors that you just got on. You get to get on there, introduce yourself. What do you do? It's like a 60-second elevator pitch. But it was awesome. And that got you in front of a ton of clients that are buying real estate. Their intentions are to buy real estate. So why not have a professional management partner? So find the company that's local to you, reach out to them and ask them if they have a professional property manager that they refer their clients to. Typically, they're going to say no, because it's an untapped area that people have not really went out and explained what property managers do. Huge opportunity there for us because they're already working with investors that are buying properties. Next one would be title companies and closing attorneys. I know some states do attorney closings versus title companies. So home buyers or investors, they're going to close on homes every day. I mean, that's the end source of every closing. So it's happening as we speak. There's a multiple title companies or closing attorneys in your market. They're closing on homes. So why are we not in front of them for their investors or accidental landlords, however that looks? We should be the first name in property management that they think of. So real estate agents, they're going to be deeply connected to those title companies. So when we talk about the ripple effect and the 3 degrees of separation, by partnering with these types of companies, they're educating to the real estate community. So why not have us there with them? Because it's going to help them close more deals because we're educating to the community that's working with investors. So keep that in mind. And a lot of the larger title companies, they even have either a regional or an office marketing manager that would love to have coffee with you, talk about how you guys can help each other close more business. Fidelity National Title, Weicker, that's some of just the bigger companies that are out there, but there are so many that are in your local market that you can go sit down, ask them who their property management partner is, and also ask them what their education plan and strategy looks like and how you can play a role in that. The ones that I partnered with here in Tampa, they did lunches monthly that would have 10 to 20 real estate agents. So that's our hook. We can help you with the educational marketing for agents to help them close more deals, which in turn is going to help your company. Title companies make money off closings. If we can be a partner to help their agents close more deals, that's the give and take side of title companies and the closing attorneys as well. Home builders, one of my favorites. If you want to add some fun and some flavor into your everyday, home builders are a great way to do so. There's 2 types of home builders. There's the major home builders that are nationwide, like D.R. Horton, Lennar, Taylor Morrison, those types of builders, they also sell to investors by the masses. There's some, we work with clients that were buying 4, 5, 6 new construction homes at a time. They would directly refer over to us, but we have to make the relationship with that regional marketing manager or regional sales manager so that we're the first partner that they think of when it comes to property management. And the fun part, the small home builders. So if you're out driving and you drive by a location that looks similar to this, they're either a dirt lot that they're excavating or they're halfway through the construction. I used to stop, pull in, look at the building permit there, see who the general contractor was. And if they weren't on site, I would look them up and I would call them about that particular property. I would just ask them like, hey, do you have a real estate agent that you typically work with? If you're doing brokerage in your office, this is a great way to get an investor to look at these properties that you can inject into your portfolio. And while you're talking to that builder, ask him, how many other homes do you have in the community? Also, that builder typically has his own inventory of rental properties, believe it or not. So ask them for their own business that they've built for themselves. Give them the time to go out and build more homes versus managing their portfolio. It works. It was a fun project as well, because you could be going to a typical on-site, see something being done on the side of the road, just pull over, go talk to them, see what kind of house that they're building, see what the specs of it are, talk to the GC a little bit about what their plans are for this home or any other lots that they may have. And that's our hook. Investors love new construction homes. Could we offer these to our clients as investment properties before you get it on the open market? Think about that. We could get the deal before the deal even appears. So don't ever cross out home builders and make extreme relationships with not only the major, but your local general contractors and construction companies in your market. It will go a long way. It's untapped. I guarantee you there's no other property management companies out there that are stopping at job sites and asking them if they have anybody interested in buying that home. And then attorneys. So estate planning attorneys, those were an awesome referral source for us because they're planning for end of life. Like, what are we going to do with this home when grandma or grandpa passes away? Like, who's it go to? How are we setting up the deed? How are we setting up the trust? Something's got to be done with those properties. And part of that planning, if they're going to rent out their homes or rent out their portfolio, they're going to need professional management. So when we think of that attorney that's planning for the family, we need to be their resource. And what we can do is be the resource and education for that client as well. Or if we have clients that need that type of resource, we can send it right back over to them. The second one was bankruptcy attorneys. There are a specific segment of investors that buy properties out of bankruptcy court for nothing. They'll buy them for $10, $20, however that looks. They go through the entire process to clear the lien that's on the property. And during that whole time, they're actually going to rent the property out. We have clients that would buy 2 or 3 at a time, use us for property management for 2 or 3 years until they cleared everything up, and then they would sell the home. So those types of attorneys, they actually need property management referral partners. So go in, introduce yourself, find how many there are in your local market so that you're the first name they think of. Elder law attorneys. My wife's in healthcare sales, and we use this to both of our advantages. Elder law attorneys, when it comes to end of life, or maybe they're going into a nursing home and they've got to do something with their assets, renting it out or even selling it, we were the catch-all to make sure that they could qualify to go to their next stage in life. So building a relationship with an elder law attorney has a huge upside to it because they need to do something with their properties and they need to do it now most of the time for financial reasons. So if we rent it out, that's what they need to show as income and show the state or show their financial planner. That's a perfect opportunity for us to jump in and be the solution for that side of their business. And then a divorce attorney, one of the ugliest offices to go into, but it is an opportunity for us as property managers. When someone's going through a divorce, maybe they have an asset that they can't sell because they're going to be upside down on it and they need to rent it out. We can catch that. And if we have a relationship with a divorce attorney, they're going to come to us because they need a solution. They need to move the paperwork through. They need to get everybody to sign off on it. So by renting that property out, it helps them out, but it also helps us out because we got a referral for it. So what's our hook? We can help your clients rent or even sell their property to our network of clients. So if there needs to be a fast sale, maybe you're an investor yourself and making these relationships, there might be some deals that you can get before anybody else gets to see those. So just think about it. There's a ton of attorneys out there that are doing these types of avenues and planning. We need to be in front of them and letting them know who we are in our community.
Reese, can I offer just one quick thing on that really quick before we move on
Yep.
to the next one? And this applies to a couple of the things, but I just want to reemphasize this point that Reese has been making, is that not only are we going to these people and trying to get access to their clients, but also when you have clients call you that are in one of these situations, right? Tom Ferry, big real estate coach, talks about the 5 Ds of real estate when people are making transitions: diplomas, diamonds, diapers, divorce, and death, right? The 5 times people making major transitions in life. They might be starting with you before they ever get to an attorney or ever get to needing a lender or ever get to something else. Like they might be like, oh, I need someone to manage my property, and they've not considered the other elements. That's why we want to have in our back pocket 3 attorneys that we're ready to have a conversation with. So if someone's like, yeah, we're going through a divorce, we're trying to figure out what we want to do, great. Do you have first and foremost, do you have a good attorney? Because I know 3 and I'd love to hook you up if I can, right? This game of referrals is being able to be the hub, because when you're the hub to the network, you're going to get business. As Reese said at the top, we've got to give to take. And so the other angle here that we just want to remember, and I just want to reemphasize, is that often the reason we're going to go out and build relationships with all of these people is so that you have someone to refer. And that's where we're filling out the Rolodex. So when we look at this list, you need to know where your blanks are and who do you need to go start developing relationships with so you can start giving referrals, because you're going to get those people coming to you all the time. And I've heard it come up. Again, someone's like, yep, grandma just passed. We're trying to figure out property management. Hey, do you have a good estate planning on that? Because legal is really important on this front. We want to make sure you do it right. If not, I know a person. So just that concept of I know a guy now needs to become like our mantra to dominate the referral network is you know a person, you have a connection. So I just wanted to reemphasize that, Reese, before we jump on into probably one of the most important referrals that we can be getting, which is the next slide.
Yeah, and if we were imagining something, if you had a client that was flying in and only had an hour of time to spend with you, and he needed to put all of this together, by having that expansive Rolodex, like everything being there, it's going to make that meeting more impactful. It's going to keep that relationship in your control, and it's going to naturally keep them staying with you a lot longer. So just think about that, having everybody you need to get them through whatever stage in the process that they are. The next one that's really right in front of our eyes is our current clients. What are we doing to educate our current clients that we're already working with about buying additional properties so that they can expand their portfolio and that magic word, build generational wealth? So introduce your resources. To Jason's point, like show them your Rolodex. Like if they have questions on anything during this process, introduce them to that. We actually did an interactive seminar where we had all of these people in one room, and we took the transaction from start to finish and how all of these components played a part in that, answered all the questions that they may have right there in that room. And we got 5 deals out of that within 24 hours, just by showing them that whatever stage that you're at during this process, we have the resource for you. We're the COO. We know people that can get you to the next step in your journey. So tell those stories. If you have clients that have done this, that have expanded their portfolio, share that with your other clients so that they know it can be done, that it's not just a giant leap. It's actually just putting a lot of small steps together at once. And my favorite, when you talk about your current clients that are already in your portfolio, we should be looking at our clients that have been with us the longest. And the reason is they've probably got the most equity in their property because they've been with us for years and years and years and years. So those are the people, if they're not buying and adding to our portfolio, we need to educate them on why they probably should be. Because if they've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity, they should be looking at ways, going back to our lenders, that can help them expand their portfolio. So talk to them about that. They've probably never even explored the idea. They had these properties, they're good. You've done a great job managing them. They've had no headaches. They've never thought once about expanding their portfolio. So let's introduce the idea and show them our Rolodex and how easy it can be and all the resources that we have. So what's our hook for our current clients? It's we're going to help them increase their generational wealth by expanding their portfolio. If they've had a property for a long time, it's obviously doing well. So let's replicate that. You trust us. We've done a great job. Let's do it again. so that we can expand your portfolio, all while we're putting more doors under management.
And Reese, before this, one thing that as we dive into this, I just want to kind of highlight and give a shout out to Kenya. We were just doing a one-on-one before our skill dev today, and he shared a story that I think is just so important about this idea of building this referral network. And it was someone, a real estate agent had, Kenya, I'm going to share this story. I hope it's all right. Just give me a thumbs up. But all right, cool. So he had an agent, and Kenya's been dominating the referral game right now. Like, he's been reaching out to agents, he's been building it up. It's been taking him a while, like, admittedly, but it's starting to see some fruit. And he had someone send him a referral, and that referral wasn't the right fit for him. But what was great about it was he knew who to refer them to. He knew the commercial building person. He knew the thing that he could pass along. And that's how we have to think about this, that as referrals are coming into you, not every person's going to be right for what it is that you do. And in fact, a major complaint that I hear from like BNI, sometimes referrals or other referral networks is, they just send us crappy referrals. We can't do anything with them. That's the wrong mentality to have. Anytime somebody sends you someone, our mindset is, how can I be of service to them? How can I go back through my Rolodex and be like, you know what? We don't handle multifamily, but I know the guy. You know what? We don't handle commercial, but I know the person. You know what? That's a little bit beyond our scope, but let me hook you up. Because here's the thing. People will refer you because of how you make them feel, because of the resource that you are to them. And so when you're that connector, that's going to be the thing that gets this whole ultimate referral network moving, is because you know how to connect them to the right thing. If you're the dead end in a referral process, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. You're not going to get any more referrals from that person. So if an agent sends you someone and you're like, yeah, no, that's a dead end, I'm sorry, I can't help that person, why would that agent ever send you another referral? That's the wrong mindset. If they send you someone and it's not the right fit, you take care of them, give them to the right connector, and then you go back to that agent and be like, hey, thanks for sending me Mary. She was awesome. Unfortunately, she's not really the right fit for what we do, but I did connect her with John, and John's going to take good care of her. I really appreciate you thinking about me. That's going to keep you in the mindset of receiving versus blocking it off. So I just want to reemphasize that idea that this thing is about flow and connecting, not about it being the right referral every single time.
Or getting, the instant referral. Some of these are going to take a long-term, consistent reaching out, developing a relationship. Maybe even comes down to playing a little golf, taking lunch to their office. It's a long process. So you're developing an interactional relationship, not the transactional piece. And that will follow if you do these consistently. So we have to ask ourselves, have we spoken to at least 5 of these potential referral partners in the last month? If we haven't, we need to reevaluate what we're doing, because there's a lot of times we get on ScaleClub and leads is one of the things we talk about. These are great ways to build leads for the long term. So you're not getting the Google pay-per-click leads, you're getting referral leads that are slowly dripping in. Nathan shouted out this week in club, he's got a real estate agent that's sending him 1 or 2 a week now because he's developed that relationship with him. Nathan, imagine if you had 5 other avenues that were also doing that on top of the call-in leads that you're naturally getting. That's going to expand the swings at the bat that you're going to get almost instantly. And then do you have a consistent plan to connect with your referral partners? It's not just stopping in, introducing yourself. It is having a plan that you're constantly communicating with them. Get them involved with your clients. If you're doing newsletters, owner updates, or owner get-togethers or anything like that, make sure that they're all invited so that they get in front of your clients as well. They're involved, and that's what's going to make them feel like it's a give and take relationship, that you're not just popping in one day, dropping off your business card, and expecting them to send you all the business in the world. It has to be a very, very consistent plan to connect with them over time. So what are we going to do today? We're going to identify what referral sources you want to build into your business development plan. We cannot just shoot from the hip. We have to aim. So what avenues and what's going to resonate the most in your market? The second thing we need to do is outline a complete list of all those available targets. So if you want to target the attorneys in your area, go through, find every attorney you possibly can, put it on a list so that you know who your targets are and what you're going to do to go after those. And then the most important piece is plan the frequency that you're going to go out there. Again, it does you no good to make one knock at the door, give them your card and walk away. There needs to be a frequency that you're constantly talking to them not always asking for the business, but just letting them know that you're there. And if they ever need a resource, that you're there to help them and their clients out. And then what can we do tomorrow? We can develop outbound content for your CRM for each lane, plan events to bring your referral network together. So maybe the attorney wants to talk to the tax advisor. Maybe your lenders need to talk to one of your vendors to get work done on their home. Connect all of those people in your Rolodex. And then educate your entire team on who your referral partners are. Does no good if we're the only person that knows what the Rolodex looks like. We need to educate our property managers or anybody that's in our company. These are the companies that send us business. So if there's an opportunity for us to send them business, they need to be aware of that and who to send it to. And then lastly, the simplest thing in the world, leave all your partners a Google review. And we're going to talk a little bit about that more next month. But by doing that, that helps them get their next client. And it's something simple that we can do over and over again for all of our referral partners. But above all, we need to be the BDM that knows everyone. We need to be involved in our community. We need to be the community sphere of influence. We need to have a solution contact for every situation that we may encounter for our current clients and our future clients, being the resource. But above all, we need to think, how am I going to build the ultimate referral network? We need to go out, get involved in our community, execute on a plan, and have it consistently done where we're reaching out to these people and making an interactional relationship, not just a cold call, trying to get a transaction out of it. So I know that's a lot, and there's a lot to really piece together on that. My challenge to everyone would be, take the weekend, get into the office next week, and look at this again and say, what avenues have I not hit? Or maybe I'm connecting with these avenues, but I'm not doing it at 100%. How can we build this into our plan so that we have a long-term bucket that's constantly being filled from our referral network?
Curious, did that spark anything in you guys? You know, what Reese shared is like, that literally is a year's worth of work for you guys to think about all the places that you could be going and building relationships and connections. So I'm curious, what questions, what sparks, what do you guys want to be able to chat a little bit about here as we land the plane?
You mentioned in the last slide to educate my entire team on who the partners are. Are you talking about my team of partners, telling them who each other are, or like my employees? Can you expound on that?
Yeah, your team at the property at your property management company, right? Because you got property managers that after you sign them up, their communication is directly with the property manager or whoever the day-to-day is. They also need to know what your referral network looks like. So if you've got an attorney maybe that's sending you several clients, and then your next client says, hey, do you have any attorney recommendations? Your team needs to be aware of that too, so that they're kind of that third degree of separation that can refer out as well. Good question, Nate.
Would there be a benefit in letting all the partners know who each other are?
Absolutely, because those referral partners can probably send each other business as well. Kind of that ecosystem is growing.
I'm the connector. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And to that point, you know, I think the opportunity there, Nathan, is the ability to like host seminars or host events where, like, again, we really encourage you guys like to become that person, but you don't have to be the one doing the content, right? You're the connector. So you pull in like the right people, like an agent, a lender, you know, someone else in that space, and put on a seminar, because that benefits everyone, right? That's the win. So that's what we can do, because we sit in a unique position that we're not in competition with these things, right? And so I think we can really leverage that and get over people's understanding that we're kind of the thing that holds it all together, like on some levels, right? Operations, what we do in property management and the real estate investing game, we need to position ourselves as like, we're it. And so like your people need to be working with professional management. If they're trying to self-manage, they're literally losing money. We have ways we can operationalize their business that they can't do on their own, right? That's the kind of almost confidence that we need to be coming at these partners, is like, we know a lot of people that are going to be kind of hard to get at, because we sit in a really unique position. So holding that worth, I think, is really crucial.
Yep. And again, these referral partners, most likely, if they don't already have investment properties, by having you as a resource and connecting all of this around them, they actually might get into real estate investing and expanding their portfolio as well. So being at the head of the table and having all of these connections, it's going to allow everybody to grow. Next month, just kind of to segue into it, next month, we're going to talk a little bit more about the power of the Google review. It's going to focus in on, not only is it just something that we can give out, but by getting Google reviews, it not only changes the way people look at us, our next client, but there's also an internal effect that happens too. It actually causes us to elevate our service level, which is going to drive new business over time. And you want to be ranked at the top. So we're going to talk about ways to do that you can do externally and internally. So make sure you tune into that one next month as well.
Have a great holiday weekend, everyone. Take a break Monday.
I want to know what he's going to spend the $100 Amazon gift card on. He's got to let us know. Does he have anything in the queue? Like, does he have anything that he's going to spend it on?
Let's be honest, it's probably going to be my wife's gift card.
Oh, nice.
That's a win.
No,
smart man.
Win.
Man, we are all about investments here, and that may be one of the best investments you can make, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got a lot out of that. As you know, you can probably tell Reese and Jason and the whole team put a lot of time into that presentation. And that came from many, many hours of experience and thinking and coaching, but we all put it together for you in a quick presentation. I know some of my personal mind-blowing favorites, I took some notes as I was watching that, were one, the title companies. I don't think enough of our clients take the relationships that they can be building with title companies serious enough. They see all the transactions in town, and certain title companies focus on more investors, and they build programs and products that are more attractive to investors, and they're out already networking with investor type clients. You can meet those people. It could be a game changer for your property management company. The second one that I loved was when Reese talked about the builders and driving around and actually looking at the permits to find the GCs and who he wanted to talk to, asking them what they're doing with the products, and bringing those people or those opportunities to his clients before they were even on the market. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're not doing that yet. Why not? Some clients have more money than time. They want to spend that into lead generation from internet marketing and direct mail and things like that. Some of our clients have more time than money, and they can be doing many of the things that we just talked about today. So those are some of my favorite ideas from the call. That's just a single month of training that we do. And you heard Reese tease out what we'll be training, or what we did train on the next month. And if you want that training as well, we'd be happy to give it to you. Just reach out to your Scale consultant. They'll send you that training. If you want to be invited to one of these trainings, we're happy to let you in on one or two of these, but we do exclusively offer these to ScaleClub, which again is our exclusive community, the largest in North America for professional property management salespeople or business development managers. And we'd love for you to join, or for us to help you hire a business development manager and train them and bring them into the community so that they can be creating business while you go out there and scale. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm Jeremy Pound. Please reach out if you have any questions. We appreciate it.